How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Florida Homestead. It's been a minute since I've uploaded, but things have been pretty busy here on the homestead. Right now we have 8 cows, including 3 brand new babies. They're doing very well. They're about 4 months old each, so they're doing great. We've got 20 hens, and life's just busy. I haven't had an opportunity to upload, but whenever I get an opportunity to review or take a look at a battery bank, I'm always very excited to look at that because these things are invaluable. We had a big hurricane come through Central Florida last fall, and while our house is connected to when we lose power, we're able to run off of propane. We have a Generac backup solution. But my sister doesn't have a solution like that. My grandmother doesn't have a solution like that. And during the hurricane, I was able to use battery banks just like this one here to help keep their food cold, to help run fans in their homes, making sure that their pets don't get too hot. And we were able to really get them through that couple days that they were without power solely due to battery banks like this one today. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Jackery 1000 solar generator. This is their version 2. And also we've got an opportunity to look at the Solar Saga 200 solar panel. Now, the number one thing that I noticed when I unboxed these, which we'll take a look at that in just a moment here, is just how simple, how plug and play this is. There's not 50 million different cords and connectors. There's just 1 or 2 cables in the entire setup here. Very, very simple. A caveman can do it, as they say. The design is very, very, very sleek. Very, very lightweight. You've got this nice pop-out handle, which allows you to just grab and go. The solar panel itself also has a nice handle on it as well. And this is just the perfect battery for, going camping. And we'll take a look at a couple of use cases in just a moment here. Jackery, I can't thank you enough for giving me a chance to look at this. Let's do the unboxing. Let's take a look at some use cases for this thing. And I'll give you guys my unfiltered thoughts about it. Let's go. So the Jackery itself arrived with these 2 boxes, this orange Solar Saga box, really cool packaging, really vibrant packaging on this orange Solar Saga. These are the solar panels. This box was really cool looking, very sleek, and then a small brown box with the Jackery itself. And we went right to it. We went ahead, cracked it open, and as with everything pertaining to this, I was really, really pleasantly surprised with how few components there are in it. You've just got the panel itself and this one orange connector cable. That's the orange cable that would go ahead and connect the panel to the Jackery itself, and that's it. That's the only contents of the solar panel packaging. So after we had gotten that open, I grabbed the scissors, we went ahead and opened the main product itself, and you're gonna see that familiar orange packaging hiding on the inside there. Went ahead, pulled it out, very, very, very cool. And inside there were no frills, just the Jackery itself, a connection cable, and a instruction manual. Now, a cool thing about this Jackery is a lot of times when they make claims, I like to test them out and see whether or not it's really true, because sometimes it's not always the case. They claim that this thing can charge from 0% to 100 in an hour or less. And so one of the first things I did when I unboxed this was I plugged it right into our grid power here at the house. I wanted to see how fast it would charge. And it charges really, really, really quickly. Definitely less than an hour to get up to 100%. That's very much true. Now, when charging off the solar panel, it was cloudy. It was an overcast day. So I wasn't able to quite get up to the 200 watts on it, but I was able to get a pretty fair amount with it being overcast. I was able to draw so much power off this panel, in fact, that I was able to do my whole off-grid office simulation. So I was simulating charging a cell phone, a laptop, and running a wireless router. So we would have internet, we would have the laptop, we would have the phone, all plugged into the Jackery at the same time, off-grid. I was able to, with this solar panel on a very cloudy and overcast day, just pulling partial power, completely offset the power drain that was coming from those 3 things. And I thought that that was really cool. And another thing that I thought was really cool was just the design of the solar panel. The panels themselves are protected with this hard plastic coating that's really going to keep them safe from damage. And the way that you just plug right in here into this little slot, there's no confusion. I have dealt with solar generators in the past and solar panels, etc., that have a lot of confusing cable hookups. There's sometimes intermediary cables that have to be sort of daisy chained together in order to get the battery to start charging. But with the case of the Jackery, it's not really true. Just this one orange cable, as you can see here, goes right into the side of the unit and you start charging. So yeah, the entire kind of mobile remote office setup here, very, very, very easy to power off of the Jackery and for many, many hours as well. Be able to do all three of these devices at the very same time. And next up, the next thing I wanted to try to test was some kitchen appliances, some cooking appliances if you wanted to cook in a remote place. We started off with this air fryer here. As you can see, I was kind of curious whether or not it would handle this because it uses over 1,000 watts, and it absolutely did. You could go ahead and, I don't know, fry some chicken tenders or something like that at the campsite. It was able to handle that just fine without any issues. The next thing that we were able to handle, which also worked just fine without any issues, I was really surprised, this crock pot. Now, it looked like without any kind of solar panel input, you would be able to run this crock pot for about 4.5 hours, which might be just enough to actually do a whole roast out on the campsite. However, you could get even more hours out of it by plugging in the solar panel and charging simultaneously as you're roasting. Pretty cool that you could do a roast, you know, for a campground or something like that. We ran the toaster. It appeared as if you could do about 20 to 40 different sets of toast before this thing would be depleted. We were able to run the Keurig, and yes, you can make coffee no matter where you are using the Jackery. It was able to. I actually made myself a cup of coffee here during the making of this video. So inside of this thing is a Life PO4 battery, and it's good for upwards of 4,000 cycles. So you can charge the battery, use the battery, charge the battery 4,000 or more times, and it's good for at least 10 years. So that's pretty sweet, right? Now it's also good for up to 1,500 watts. So you can power, and during the demonstrations, I powered some reasonably high-end appliances. You know, we got an air fryer going, we got a Keurig going, we got some medical equipment going for my wife that she might need to use in an emergency, and it was able to power all of those things quite well. The biggest sell on this thing, I would say, is the simplicity of it. Very, very, very few cables, very, very, very little bit of knowledge needed to get it up and running. It's pretty straightforward. The fold-up handle lets you just grab and go. And that simplicity of it, I think, is really practical if you're just trying to grab it and go camping, or if you're just trying to grab it and wherever you need to get a little bit of power. You're going to be able to do it very quickly. You don't really need to double check. Do I have all the cords? Do I have all the connectors? You won't have like little Ziploc baggies with all kinds of ties and stuff like that. Some of these batteries, there is, 8 different things that you need to connect in order to get it going, but not with this particular one right here. So there you have it, everyone. The Jackery Explorer 1000 V2 with the Solar Saga 200 panel. Guys, I think that this is a great, great, great product. It's just so cool and so sleek and so simple to use. The simplicity, #1 selling point on it for me. Definitely a grab and go type thing for people who are actually explorers. It's called an explorer. So if you're out exploring somewhere and you need to bring a little bit of backup power with you, the Jackery is probably going to get your job done. I cannot thank you enough, Jackery, for giving me an opportunity to review this. 2 thumbs up from me. And folks, God bless you wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. God bless. And if you like the video, consider subscribing. Maybe I should start uploading videos on this channel again. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Thank you, and I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.